What's coming up in the future of Litecoin? What are the things that you're excited about? What's the secret we can't know?
Will Litecoin, the 22nd most valuable cryptocurrency in existence, explode again into 2025? You see, in the bull market of 2017, from the trough to the peak, like right here, this time frame, Litecoin exploded over 313x. From 2018 to the bull market of 2021, Litecoin had a respectable 16x. Again, that's from trough to peak. And there is a reason I think Litecoin was suppressed last cycle. I'll get to that. But today, from the bear market of 2022 into hopefully the bull run of 2025, will Litecoin explode again? Is it worth investing in?
What's the secret we can't know?
My answer may surprise you. Watch today's whole video. And I am not a financial advisor, nor can I see the future. But for example, things are changing. Founder Charlie Lee did recently just announce that Litecoin is expanding into banking services, starting internationally.
After long due diligence with the bank BBVA, we're happy to announce that they're going to start supporting Litecoin in their mobile app in Turkey, which is a very cool expansion into the international space, with people being able to use Litecoin, buy and sell Litecoin with BBVA. So that's very cool.
And just as a reminder, what is Litecoin? Well, created in 2011 by a former Google engineer, Charlie Lee, Litecoin was created for fun as a copy of Bitcoin.
You decided at one point to create Litecoin. Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk about the history of Litecoin as Litecoin Satoshi?
At launch, it was 4 times faster, had 4 times the max supply, yet still a fixed supply, and many people called it the silver to Bitcoin's gold.
Well, I mean, I've talked about this a lot. Like I created Litecoin kind of for fun as a side project, and didn't really expect much from it. And it kind of blew up and became its own thing, and it's taken over kind of my life. So, yeah, it's kind of a wild ride.
And I think back in 2017, one of the reasons Litecoin had such a moment is because you always got to look at the narratives for that cycle. The narratives for 2017 were, number one, ICOs. Altcoins could finally be easily launched on Ethereum, huge trend, but also payments, cryptocurrencies, cryptos as a currency. That's not a trend today with stablecoins, but back then, stablecoins were new, weren't popular, weren't regulated, and people were speculating which cryptocurrency would be used for daily payments to buy that cup of coffee.
So any coin that's going after fast, cheap payments, it's pointless. You have to be a store value first?
So yes, in a sense.
Litecoin benefited back then, yet just 4 years later, into the bull run of 2021, payments was not a narrative. NFTs, digital art, gaming, metaverse, that was the narrative. Those were the altcoins that really carried the cycle. And people saw Bitcoin and also Litecoin more as investments, as stores of value. They didn't want to spend it, they wanted to save it. And because Litecoin wasn't a harder money, it didn't have the same network effect as Bitcoin. Litecoin's price back then barely reached, just past all-time highs from the old cycle and then tanked. This is a new cycle. There are different narratives. I'd say artificial intelligence, still gaming, RWA, real-world asset, and DePIN, all huge narratives. But because of the institutional adoption we're seeing from BlackRock, Fidelity, through the Bitcoin spot ETFs, more regulatory safe or regulatory compliant cryptocurrencies, to me, definitely a narrative. For example, Michael Saylor says Litecoin is also likely a digital commodity like Bitcoin.
There's only one we know of right now, Bitcoin. Someone might file an application to get Litecoin designated as a digital commodity.
He thinks like the institutions, or TradFi thinks. And Charlie Lee explains why even still today, Litecoin is liked by people that also like Bitcoin.
There are hardcore maximalists that use Litecoin without telling anyone.
Yeah, but I know. And I know why they're using it. But why do you think it is? Why do you think Litecoin has managed to avoid the wrath of some of the Bitcoiners?
Well, one, there was no pre-mine, so it was fairly mined. It's very similar to Bitcoin. So the only like kind of negative thing about Litecoin is that it came second, right? It's not, there's no first mover advantage. The other thing is some people don't like that I'm still around, whereas with Bitcoin, like Satoshi disappeared. So kind of people talk about the immaculate birth of Bitcoin, which is one of the benefits. Litecoin doesn't have that. But it's hard for them to hate on Litecoin because it's so similar to Bitcoin.
So what is the role of Litecoin today then?
It's a complement to Bitcoin. A lot of people use it because it's fast and cheap, and people just like using it as a payment. It just works, and that's what's kind of the beauty of Litecoin.
So let's talk about Litecoin today, because I do honestly think, really, for the biggest gains, you want to go with the newer altcoins, or also, I would say, bigger trends, commodities, or institutionally liked coins. Not the biggest trend, AI, RWAs. Those are the big movers, in my opinion, for this cycle. But Litecoin's that safer play. So what could it do? And it should be noted that back in 2022, Litecoin did implement Mimblewimble, which was a privacy upgrade, meaning if you want to transact in private, Litecoin is a solid option. But how does this work? And if I use Litecoin, is it automatic?
I know you've been a big proponent of privacy. You've pushed forward to introduce more privacy features on Litecoin ahead of Bitcoin. What is the state of privacy right now with Litecoin?
So we launched MWeb, which is privacy and fungibility upgrade to Litecoin. So it's a extension block. It uses extension blocks, so you can transfer money from the Litecoin main chain to MWeb and back. So when you're in MWeb, we use a protocol called Mimblewimble, which makes it so that you can't see how much you're sending. So I think that's really important. Like when I send you money, I don't want the whole world to know how much I sent you or how much is in my account. So I think that's kind of a really important feature for real world cash.
And so this is activated all across Litecoin. Please don't get angry at me for not knowing, because I'm afraid I haven't used Litecoin recently. But this is activated across Litecoin.
Yep. And
how much is this being used? Is it a feature you get by default, or is it something you have to choose to use?
You have to choose to use it. So you can easily, right now with Litecoin Core, you can easily send money between MWeb and the main chain. And we're starting to add this feature to Lite Wallet and other mobile wallets to make it easier for people to use. But yeah, it's something that anyone can use.
And what to expect next for Litecoin. This is the final 45-second clip.
So ongoing. So what's coming up in the future of Litecoin? What are the things that you're excited about? What's the secret we can't know?
Well, we'll announce that later. But I think it's very exciting about Litecoin entering the DeFi space. I'm also super excited about MWeb being released on mobile wallets. And we already have like millions of dollars of coins pegged into the extension block. So people are using MWeb right now. It's just that because it's hard to use right now without using Litecoin Core, it's preventing lots of people to actually try it out. So having MWeb being supported across different mobile wallets is the ultimate goal, to make it easy for people to use it.
Now, all that being said, I think best case scenario, and I'm averaging here, best case scenario for Litecoin in 2025 is around 800. How I came to this would be about a 2x from its previous all-time high in 2021, which to me would be very reasonable considering that we are seeing institutional adoption, and I think the commodity-like or safer-like cryptocurrencies like Litecoin will get into those ETFs or indexes from the BlackRocks, from the Fidelities, because it's just safer. That would be around an 18.5x at the peak of the cycle into 2025. I'm going to save this. Let's come back to these metrics, this chart, at the start of the year, so in a few months, and click the like button if you got value in today's video, and hit subscribe. You do not want to miss tomorrow's vid.